Hello, Angela Meiritz-Reid here, Stamping Up demonstrator based in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today I'm sharing with you this card I created for this week's Global Design Project number 326, which is a sketch challenge, and I'm using the Amazing Sihouettes Stamp Set from the new Mini. For the base, I've got a crumb cake one, which I like. It's a nice neutral, and then I've got a layer of basic white. And then just to go on top of that, slightly smaller, about 2mm smaller, is a piece of Coastal Cabana. I'm just going to run that quickly through the Tasteful Textile embossing folder, which is one of my favourites, and I think always looks really elegant. I'm going to go ahead and adhere all those together just to get them out of the way. And I like using glue because then I can give it a little wiggle, line things up. And all the measurements will be on my blog, and there is a written tutorial to go with this as well. Right, so that's done. And then the next thing I'm going to do is stamp up this image here. And I've got two pieces of cardstock, and one is slightly smaller than the other, just a couple of millimeters. Just to layer that up, just gives a nice wee added extra. And then the top one is going to have the stitched with Whimsy die around it. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it. And then what I've done is I'm using the markers and I'm using the painted ends, and I'm just going to colour onto the stamp. And I don't want a really tight line. Just want to sort of something a bit organic, so just do that roughly around there. And then I'm going to do the same with the greeny apple green, so that was a Coastal Cabana, just to tie in with the cardstock on here. I'm just using the side of the marker. This covers a lot of the area quicker. And then what I'm going to do, just very subtly, is just add a little spritz, and I'm going to do it from a wee way away, just to give it a little bit of movement. And I'm going to stamp that onto here, about the middle. Just hold it on for a couple of seconds and then pull it off. So you can see it's a bit speckled, and that will change a little bit too as it soaks into the paper. So this isn't watercolour paper, I've just used the ordinary basic white. So I'm just going to pop that through my die cutting machine, so it won't be a moment. So you can see that stitched with Whimsy die. It doesn't cut anything out, it just gives that lovely stitched effect around the edge. And then I'm just going to adhere that onto that square that is slightly larger, just a couple of millimeters. And then that is going to have dimensionals on it, but firstly I'm going to tie some twine onto that. And I usually sort of put my thumb here and leave a bit of room for how much I think the other side will need. And this one I've wound around a couple of times, brought it to there, and then cut it off at that same length. there. Just tuck that in through there, hopefully. Yep, yay. Yay for it working first pop, and then you can just sort of faff around with it. I find putting my finger on the top, that helps, just gives, so it won't curl as it goes through, just helps try and stop that happening. And then I'll just trim those ends off a bit. And then I'm going to put the card together. So on the back of here, I'll put some dimensionals, open that up a little bit. Here, and then I just want to get that hopefully straight there, and then I've just added some of the Rhinestone basic jewels, so one of the medium sized ones here, just going to tuck that down here, and small one, and I'll tuck one up this side this time. And then the last thing is doing hello, and that is from this set here, the Biggest Wish set, and stamped it in Misty Moonlight. And then I'm just going to fussy cut this out. It's not too hard, it's a fairly good size stamp, and I tend to just do that, leave a little white edge, gives a little bit of room for error. You can be as fussy as you like. You could just trim it down into a rectangular shape. I just didn't want to cover too much of the image, as it is a fairly small panel on the card that's going to have this on it, but it doesn't matter. It's not too bad. And then once I've cut that out, if there are any edges that are a bit sharp, I just use my fingernail just to round them off a bit, soften that, break the fibres up a little bit. And then I'm going to add that to the front of the card, just over here. So I'll just pop some dimensionals, and I want the dimensionals to go either side of the twine. One just up there, and hopefully that might just be enough there. Yeah, great. So there you have it, all done. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you'll join in with the global design projects. We'd love to see your cards, and thanks for watching. Bye.